How's everybody doing today? This is Corey Lee's Boxing, and we are back with another banger. So please smash that like button, you guys, and subscribe. And yeah, man, I got my man DC Mike in the building from Washington, DC, man. I mean, you know what I'm saying? What's going on, man? You know what I mean? You got the beard popping out, man. You know what I mean? You got it going on right now, man. What we're gonna break down this we're gonna break down the Terence Crawford versus Earl Spence fight that we really didn't talk about. And then I want to know, what's next for Terence Crawford and stuff like that, and some of the names that they've thrown out there so far, for Terence Crawford. First of all, how you been doing, man?
I've been good, trying to get rid of this lingering ass cough I had for the last 6 months, like that.
So you had a call for 6 months, okay, man. Smash that like button, y'all. Let's get these likes out the way, y'all. Yeah. So what you good though?
I'm good.
All right, all right. So look, what we gonna do is how did you break down and how did you assess the Terence Crawford versus Earl Spence fight, man? What did you think about it? What's your thoughts? As you being in the sport for over a decade now doing media, what do you think about it? Like, what did you is that the outcome you thought?
um, no, not one sided like that. I just kept telling everybody, people asking me who you think gonna win. I was like, whoever get hit first. And obviously Earl got hit first, so he lost. But I didn't think it was gonna be one sided like that. But everybody's excuse me talking about that. I'm pretty sure you heard that the little interview with the doctor, and he's talking about Earl Spence looked off. He had some residual effects from the neurological damage, from the car accident, and it was kind of evident before this fight. Um, but obviously, once somebody takes a loss, and everybody gonna start, saying that was the main reasons to why he looked, slow or tired or whatever it was. Um, but I guess to answer your question, I didn't think it was gonna be one sided like that. But like I said, Earl got sorry, Earl got hit first, so he lost.
Yeah, I mean that's how it goes in boxing, man. You supposed to be hitting and not getting hit. But we seen Earl Spence take a lot of punishment. With that being said, man, do you think with that being said, I mean, did Earl Spence take a lot of punishment where that could possibly be detrimental to his career? I mean, let's be honest.
It looked like he did. He got knocked down a bunch of times. His face looking like Martin's. My bad.
Oh man.
you know, no knock on Earl Spence, but when your face get to looking like that, I can say Martin. Oh, who's the other fighter? That fought Fondor. What's his name? Lubin. Lubin.
Lubin fought Fondor. Lubin. Erickson
when,
Lubin from
when
Florida.
your face when your face get messed up like that, it's kind of hard to come back and be the same fight after that. But you know, I don't know.
So I mean, with that being said, I mean, my personal breakdown on the fight is I just think that Earl Spence, came in with the wrong game plan. He thought he was just gonna implement his jab and he was gonna keep coming forward. And we seen early on that wasn't working. It almost looked like Earl Spence didn't have a plan B or C. It was almost like he was going with plan A, him and Derek James, you know, throughout the whole fight, and eventually that's going to catch up to you when you got Terence Crawford, one of the best pound for pound fighters in the world of boxing right now, picking you apart. I mean, the guy was literally putting on a boxing clinic with the 1-2. He said it started with the jab and it finished with the jab. And I took away, and I quote, I took away Earl Spence's jab. Do you believe that he neutralized Earl Spence in this fight?
That's the way it looked. He looked like he neutralized him. Um,
Mm, 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 mm.
Again, like I said, it's nothing really special with Earl or Terence Crawford, but I mean, let's call a spade a spade. Earl, even before the accident, it wasn't nothing super special about him. He wasn't, super tricky or super fast. That just, never wasn't his style. So I'm sure, when Crawford seen it and Bomac seen it, like, he's slow. You quicker than him. You can, counter him and do this and do that. And maybe the power surprise. I mean, I don't want to say the power surprise Spence because I'm sure he wasn't that uh naive to the fact that he was facing a guy that's 39-0. So I don't want to say the power surprised him. But as far as game plan, I mean, fighters fight how they fight. Um, because once you get 30 fights in, it's almost like you can't change nobody to have him to do something else. So I guess he figured, he won 29 times doing the same thing. I guess he figured he can try the 30th time to do the same thing. And it didn't work. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, I mean, what game plan do you think Errol Spence should have had against Crawford?
I think that Earl Spence should have came in there and been tricky. He's already in fighting in the southpaw stance. Terence Crawford's not a natural southpaw. So I would just, I would have had a lot of movement, which he did. You see, when he got Terence Crawford on the ropes, he had success. When he got him in the corner, he had a little bit of success. But that was, that was here and there. I feel like right now, Earl Spence is the type of fighter that, comes forward and tries to bully you. And when that doesn't happen, I seen Earl Spence backing up. Smash that like button, y'all. Let's get these likes up. But I mean, I seen Earl Spence backing up. And you don't ever see Earl Spence in a lot of fights backing up. But when I seen him backing up, I automatically knew. I was like, man, this ain't gonna work out for him, man. This gonna be a long night for Earl Spence, man. When I seen him
Mm,
backing up. Because I didn't see him backing up in a whole lot of fights leading up into this fight. So,
right.
when I seen him backing up, I was like, man, are you for real, man? This guy's really backing up. And that was the beginning of the end. But with that being said, moving forward, man, while DC Mike goes through his house and gets everything cleans up his house and shit. Um, my bad. But with Earl Spence being that fluent and being, backdoor and with the comebacks and stuff like that, and coming
Uh-huh.
forward. He can't. I just feel like Earl Spence can't really fight off the back foot as well as Terence Crawford can. But with that being said, Earl Spence is going to be out the ring for. That's what Steven Espinoza, they had at Showtime. Um, and he's a part of the matchmaking and stuff like that. He said that Earl Spence will be out the entire year, the rest of the remainder of the year. So he will not fight no more this year. Smash that like button as soon as you guys come in, y'all. DC Mike, Corey Lee Boxing. Let's get it. He will not fight no more the rest of this year. So with that being said, they said that Terence Crawford did not take a whole lot of punishment. So he will be fighting either at the end of this year or the beginning of next year. If Terence Crawford were to fight one other person, okay, who would that one other person be, in your personal opinion?
Um, if you're talking business wise, I don't know. But from a fan standpoint, I guess Jerron Ennis from a fan standpoint. But business wise, I don't see nobody.
I mean, you got Keith Thurman. That's what a lot of people want to see. Some people say they want to see the Keith Thurman fight because Keith Thurman has been in and out of the ring. He's been a little bit
Uh-huh.
inactive lately. You guys all know that Earl Spence wanted to fight Keith Thurman at one time, and had him on his radar, but
Mhm.
Keith Thurman was pretty much ducking that work with Earl Spence at the time. I feel like he didn't want that. He didn't want that work. Um, you guys all know that Keith Thurman is still trained by Dan Birmingham since 2010. Since Keith Thurman's late trainer passed away in '09, I believe.
Uh-oh.
Ben Getty. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but right now, where do you see this going, man? I mean, I just think that, Keith Thurman right now, being that he's available to fight and he's ready to fight and he's willing to fight Terence Crawford, I really want to see how that's gonna look. Keith Thurman, you guys, if you guys don't know, Keith Thurman is 30-1 with 22 big wins by way of knockout. He's been currently inactive. He hasn't fought since Mario Barrios, which was February 5th, 2022. It's almost been in February, it'll be 2 years. Not saying he's gonna wait that long, but I'm just saying in February it'll be 2 years since he has fought. So,
Right.
and before that, he fought Manny Pacquiao in 2019. So he's only had in 2024. If we get to 2024 and Keith Thurman has not fought still yet by the 2024, it'll be almost 5 years, and Keith Thurman has only had one fight in 5 years.
Right.
So do you think
I
at
guess
this
the
point, do you think
next
at this
question
point,
is,
and do you think at this point,
is he the man to beat Crawford? I don't think so.
would you say you're breaking up? You're getting a little staticky. What'd you say?
And everybody's still here.
What'd you say? We can't hear anything you're saying. Smash that like button, y'all. Let's get these likes up. Crypto Colors, what's happening, man? What's going on, my brother? How's everything going? But yeah, man, I just think right now, man, Keith Thurman is a viable candidate to fight, Terence Crawford, and I wouldn't mind seeing it. I wouldn't mind seeing Keith Thurman. That's not really the fight that I want to see, but if they told me that's the only fight that they can make at this particular time, I would watch it. I would definitely watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Keith Thurman probably be like the closest one that they can make him some decent money. Crawford, a good fight with him, but can he really beat Crawford? I don't think so. But I guess he got to punch his chance like anybody else. He got the punch his chance.
One thing I will say about Keith Thurman, though, Keith Thurman moves around a hell of a lot more than Earl Spence does.
Yeah, he ain't flat-footed.
He's not flat-footed, and he doesn't just try to, use that. Yeah, he uses his jab, but he uses a lot of punches.
Right.
He does punches and bunches, and I think that style right there could possibly give Terence Crawford some problems. Now, I'm not saying Terence Crawford can't give Keith Thurman problems. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is Keith Thurman, being that he's been on the show, that's another thing too. You haven't been in there with, a top 10 welterweight in almost 5 years. Mario Barrios doesn't count. He's a 140 pounder moving up. Mind you, he fought Mario Barrios and couldn't get him out of there. And we all know with a smaller Tank Davis coming up from 130 pounds, what he did to Mario Barrios at 140. He iced him. And so, with Keith Thurman going the distance with Mario Barrios, is the power still there? You're going to need the power to try to stop Terence Crawford.
Right. I mean, I guess if he can hit him, excuse the noise. If he can hit Crawford, I'm sure he'll hurt him. But the question is, can he even hit Crawford? I don't know. I know he good his legs and circling around, but he can't. If Crawford catch him good, he mess around and knock Thurman out, head or body. You don't think so?
I mean, I have seen Keith Thurman knocked down before. I've seen him hurt before, but I've never seen Keith Thurman stopped. You know, and we all know that Keith Thurman once had, you know, knockout punching power. Now we haven't seen those knockouts. We haven't seen a Keith Thurman knockout, okay, since 2015, since he fought Luis Collazo, okay, which has 6 losses at the time, and that was in 2014. Keith one-time Thurman hasn't had a knockout in almost 9 years.
Mm, long time. That's a
So
long
I mean, the
time.
guy's talking a good game. The guy's saying he wants Terence Crawford next. That's what he's saying. You know,
I mean,
that's
he
what
want
he's saying.
the payday. Guess you can't blame the man for that.
What did pay? Oh, you think he's doing it for a payday?
I'm sure he want to win too, but he like, well, damn it, I get a good pay. I can get at least, I don't know, 5 million for Crawford. I don't know what he'll get for Crawford, but he could probably make more than he ever made, I guess.
Shit, they were
Maybe.
talking about. They were talking about. Both guys making at least 25 million apiece. Keith Thurman and, I mean, excuse me, Earl Spence and Terence Crawford making 25 million apiece.
Right. How much would how much do you think Thurman will get against Crawford if they fight?
I think if Thurman fought Crawford, I think Thurman would get at least 10 million.
At least 10.
You gotta understand, Keith Thurman's a name, and he fought Manny Pacquiao. Yeah, he lost to Manny Pacquiao, but it was a very entertaining fight. Um, and I just think that, and I think he did well in the Manny Pacquiao fight. But I think the knockdown pretty much, sealed his fate. He wasn't able to hurt Manny Pacquiao or stop him, and it was just a long night in the office for him, man.
Right.
But I just think right now, Keith Thurman, man, is a viable candidate. Keith Thurman, smash that like button, y'all. Let's get these likes up. One of the guys in the chat saying Spence should fight Thurman for a tune-up fight and get ready for a rematch against Bud. I mean,
Um,
I don't think so, Crypto Colors. I don't think that that's gonna happen. I just think that right now, if you're Terence Crawford or if you're Earl Spence, a lot of people saying that they want to see the rematch, and there's a lot of people that say they don't want to see the rematch. And if it was on you, DC Mike, would you rather see the rematch against Terence Crawford and Earl Spence, or would you rather see them fighters go each other's way?
they probably go each other's way, but again, when you're talking about a lot of money, I guess you can't blame Earl for, you know, they're doing a rematch and getting the money. But do I want to personally see it again? Probably not. Would he be better at 154? Maybe, but I mean, even if he's stronger at 154, he ain't gonna be no quicker. He might be a little teeny bit slower. I think Crawford beats him at 47 or 54. But
And
I don't.
that's
I
a,
wouldn't want to see a rematch.
and that's another thing too. Earl Spence pretty much said it in all ways that he's not fighting at 147 no more. Pretty much 147 is over for Earl Spence. We seen how weight drained, or how pretty much his trainer Derek James. I don't know if you've seen him or seen what he said lately. He just trained Anthony Joshua, who beat Robert Helenius this past weekend over there in the UK. Um, look, subpar doing it. But Derek James said, it looked like Earl Spence was pretty much in like quicksand. I mean, the guy was, moving so slow. I mean, do you feel like Earl Spence looked a little off that night?
Well, he's always been slow. If you go back to 5, 6 years ago, Earl Spence was always, kind of right there. Slow. He hit hard, but he's slow. That wasn't surprising. Like I said, maybe the hitting power was surprised Spence. That's why he kept going down. But I mean, as far as him looking off, I mean, I'm gonna probably say no. I'm gonna probably give it a no.
You gonna give
But
it a no?
I'm gonna give it a no. I'm gonna say he was. I'm gonna say he was on. It's just Crawford was quicker, beating to the punch. It's kind of like when Muhammad Ali was fighting George Foreman. He was undefeated. He coming straight forward, throwing these hard punches, and Ali was just covering up and just whoop, whoop, catch him in between punches. He was kind of doing Earl like that. He was slow. He was easy to figure out. He just coming forward and swinging, and he wasn't hard to figure out. So to say he was off, I mean, I ain't gonna say he was off. But if you ask some of the probably some great fighters, they'll probably tell you he was off. Like Shane Mosley thought he was dehydrated, and I think Shane said that he thought Earl looked off and he was dehydrated, and he possibly overtrained. I'm like, even if he did, I'm like,
Overtrained.
what? He didn't say overtrained. I heard that from another ex champion. But Shane himself was like, Earl didn't look, he didn't look right, and he was probably dehydrated. When you dehydrated, you really can't do what you want to do. And I'm like, I guess. I mean, I don't think he, would beat him at 47 or 54, especially after the punishment he took. He showed heart, but sometimes you gotta save yourself from yourself.
So with that being said, DC Mike, I mean, do you feel like right now the leading candidate is Keith Thurman, or do you feel like we'll see that rematch eventually? They're saying Earl Spence is going to be out for the rest of the year. Terence Crawford took minimal
What?
punishment. He's still ready to get in there and go.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure about getting his money after getting 25 million. So I'm sure he don't want to go. Well, I guess if he got to go back to fight somebody kind of, subpar just to stay busy, he will. But I'm sure he will want to keep, fighting guys that can get him the most money. Like I said, Keith Thurman's probably like probably the best guy right now that can get him the most money. I don't think nobody else can get him the kind of money that he wants to get. Terence Crawford. Jerron Ennis can't do it. Stanionis can't do it. They're good fighters, undefeated, but they just can't get him the money that he's looking for. I'm sure he's 35, about to be 36, and I'm sure he's looking, to retire from boxing before boxing retire him. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, people that's
Fact.
listening, and you touch, when you start touching 35 or 36, or some fighters 36, you start, slowing down a little, and
Yeah.
timing start getting off. But yeah, I mean, I think Thurman's probably the best guy that can give him the most money as of right now. No knock on Stanionis or Jerron Ennis, but they can't get him the money that he really wants.
Yeah, that's true, man. They're gonna. You feel like from here on out, Earl Spence and Terence Crawford is gonna be more about the money now.
I mean, I don't know about Earl Spence being about the money. I know
Oh
Crawford.
shit,
I think
man.
Crawford
Why
spoke on
you?
it.
What you mean? What you mean? Earl Spence ain't about the money? You don't think he's about his money?
I mean, he's about it, but as far as him, I mean, to sit there to say that Earl Spence only wants the big fights, I think Spence will fight anybody, whether it's a big fight or not. But I think Crawford, I think he spoke on that. I think he's more so about getting the biggest paydays possible before he make his exit. Because he's still undefeated, so he got something to lose. So he like, well, damn it, I'm 40-0. Let me go ahead and just get the biggest paydays before I make an exit. Spence is not undefeated. no more. So he really don't have the I guess the leverage to say, well, I want the biggest paydays and I need the biggest fighter with the biggest paydays. Cause ain't nobody really gonna pay Earl Spence no serious money like that. After he took a beating like that,
Ooh,
he may go back down to, I don't know, 5 million a fight or something like that.
which ain't
I don't know
chump
what he.
change.
Yeah, it's not chump change. He possibly may go down to 5 million a fight. I don't know, but he don't really have no leverage like that. Earl Spence to say, well, I need fighters that can pay me the biggest purse. Who out there? Well, ain't nobody out there except for Keith Thurman. So all these other guys still making 350, 400,000. They ain't even touched a million yet. So it's like, what are we doing?
Yeah, they want Boots to fight the winner of this fight, and I'm thinking to myself, Boots ain't even made a million yet, and both of these guys
Nope.
made 25 million a piece this fight at least. And
Yeah,
if you just talking about the money part, I mean, like you said, it just doesn't make a lot of sense.
yeah, yeah. You're right.
So
Yeah, you're
yeah,
right.
man, we gonna go ahead and wrap it up, man. Let everybody know, DC Mike, where they can follow you at, man, and let them know what's coming up for you. Got any interviews coming up that they can tune into?
Yeah, you guys can see my name, IG at DC Mike TV. I might have a couple interviews coming up this week. I might try to get Gary Russell Jr. Not Gary Russell Jr., but his brother. This one Saturday, Gary Antoine Russell. I might try to get him, and I might try to get this other guy by the name of Dominique Crowder. He's from Baltimore,
Shout
six
out
feet,
Crowder.
118 pounder. So I might try to get Gary Antoine Russell and Dominique Crowder one day this week. Like I said, y'all want to keep up with what I'm doing. Y'all can follow me, DC Mike TV at IG, and yeah.
All right, man. Thanks for joining, man. This is Corey Lee Boxing, you guys, and you guys have definitely been hit with another banger. Peace
Yeah.
out, you guys. Later, man.